A boss mom doesn't allow society to tell her that her goals no longer matter. She handles her business both inside and outside of the home. Welcome to the Bawse Mom Movement Podcast with me, your host, Ashley White, where you'll hear me speak with millennial moms who have not allowed the title mom to stop them from achieving their goals. During this podcast series, we'll discuss how we balance it all and other mom-related topics. It's a space for all my bossy mamas, whether you're an entrepreneur, mama in corporate, or both. Being a boss mom isn't easy, but it's our lifestyle. So with that being said, all right, boss moms, let the movement begin. Hey moms, it's Ashley here from the Bawse Mom Movement, here to invite you to join me in the Bawse Mom Mastermind Group. This is a small group that I've created to help us as like-minded women and moms just accomplish our goals. We'll meet on a monthly basis, but you also have the opportunity to have a community at your fingertips as you'll be invited to a private sectioned off group where we'll just be able to discuss on a daily basis different goals that we have for the month and just keep each other motivated and accountable. In addition to that, you will receive a special discount on merchandise and upcoming events. So like I said, join the Bawse Mom Mastermind Group. The link is in my bio. And let's just build this community and check off these goals and keep each other accountable. So I hope to see you ladies there. Hey boss moms, welcome back for another episode of the Bawse Mom Movement Podcast. You're here for season 4, episode 3. And I have a special guest with me, Miss Tia Coleman, joining us today to talk about network to net worth. So I'm excited to just talk about this subject because I feel like people don't really take networking serious. So I definitely am interested in diving into this conversation with you. But I have Tia here. She is a mom of 2 and a media mogul, serial entrepreneur, and a number 1 selling author. So I'm going to hand the mic over to Tia to just introduce yourself and let us know who Tia Coleman is.
Hey, I'm so excited to be here. My name is Tia Coleman. As she said, I'm a mother of 2, 27 years young. I'm a rattler. I am a serial entrepreneur. I have my hands in so much. So I am the momager of the Sweetest Sisters. It's a gourmet shaved ice truck in Jacksonville, Florida. I started that business for my 2 daughters, Mackenzie and Michaela. I am a number 1 selling author on Amazon for my new book, I Am the Prize. It's a self-help and personal development book for women to help them build confidence. And when they step in these rooms, they know they are the prize. What else do? I have a podcast myself, the TiaVSFancyCash podcast. It's a nationally recognized podcast. I'm so proud of it. So y'all make sure y'all check me out on Apple Podcasts. And to round all of that off, I am the founder of Manifesting Over Mimosas. It's the biggest networking event in Northeast Florida. Super excited about that. That's every year in December. Entrepreneurs gather, and they can look forward to that this year, December 18th, 2022 in Jacksonville, Florida.
I love it. First of all, I love the energy that you have and just talking about who you are. Like that presence is so important in just selling yourself and having that confidence. So the fact that you took it upon yourself to instill that in others and really have a passion behind that is just phenomenal, especially with women, because honey, I don't want to say we lack confidence as a whole, but it's very hard for women to just be confident in what they can do. Whereas a man, he's going to be confident all the way around. He's always going to sell himself when he walks into a room. And so I love the fact that you have the passion to instill that in other women. I think that's great. And being so young, like just finding your passion early on is phenomenal. So congrats to you and everything that you are doing. And also I commend you for starting your baby girls off early and just learning entrepreneurship and also believing in themselves as young girls, just entering this world. So you doing it, mama. I'm proud. That's great. You're welcome. So I want to learn more about your journey into entrepreneurship. So you did say that you have your hands into a lot, in which you just shared with us. And so what even made you want to step into entrepreneurship?
So I feel like entrepreneurship is just out, it's in my blood. I can remember being my daughter's age in front of my mom's house selling snow cones, like the business that they have now. This is what I was doing in front of my mom's house when I was younger. Just doing it for the summertime and spring break. And I've just always been familiar with money. Like I've always been good with money. I've always loved money, and I always felt like I attract money. So, and my dad, before my dad passed, he used to always say, like, you'll never be able to work for anybody else. And I feel like he manifested that into my life because I'm 27 and I will never apply for another job. I promise you.
Girl, listen, I'll definitely keep saying, okay, this is my last job. Like something got to take off in what I'm doing. So you were in corporate before, or you had a 9-to-5 before stepping into entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I had been working 2 jobs. I had worked 2 jobs my entire life. I've always had a work ethic, and I always knew I had a gift like outside of these jobs. So when I was in the corporate spaces, it was cool. It was fun. I've learned so much. It made me, a better businesswoman because I took those same tools that I had to use working for corporate America, and I applied them to my own businesses, like from start to finish. And I think that's what makes me so successful. It's not like I quit my job and I just said bump everything about corporate America, and the lessons that I learned is teach me how to be like a better boss as far as like management, what type of environment I want to create for my employees, my workers, and the people that I work with. And it also teaches me if something doesn't work out, like try again, don't give up. Because when something don't go wrong with these big corporations and companies, they're not stopping and giving up on their dreams. They just going back to the drawing boards, having a staff meeting, a board meeting, and getting back into it.
Exactly. So do you feel like that was a intricate part into just you becoming an entrepreneur? Because I know sometimes entrepreneurs are like, I ain't never had a job, or I don't want to say looking down on 9-to-5s, but in some cases, they do. But I definitely agree what you're saying. Like it helped you grow. So do you think you would have been as great of a boss or as great as a team player in the different partnerships that you have without having that that 9-to-5?
No. So I'm all about like, I believe that experience is the best teacher. So I don't think I would know how to be a boss if I didn't have bad bosses and good bosses. I don't think I would know what type of employee I wanted if I wasn't a bad employee or a good employee in some instances. So it's like, I just know what to look out for. I feel like working corporate America shaped me to be the best entrepreneur that I can be.
Okay. I like that answer. That's a good answer. I mean, it's just because I'm right now juggling both entrepreneurship and a 9-to-5, but it's so many lessons that I have learned, especially being that I hopped into a job pretty early. I think I was like 22, 23, where I'm still juggling, stepping out of that college phase into really entering into adult life. And so I'm just looking back on the years of experience, like you mentioned, and just saying, okay, without that, I wouldn't even know what to do in this situation right now. You know what I'm saying? So, and granted, I don't have any employees yet, but just partnering with other people. Well, I ain't gonna say I don't have employees because I do manage a hair store in Atlanta. So but within my actual, jobs that I've created myself, like I don't have anybody that works for me. But to your point, like, exactly. Manifestation, honey. But, to your point, just going through those experiences in 9-to-5s with bad, good managers and just being an employee yourself definitely gives you that structure and that business mindset to venture off and do your own thing. So I appreciate that. So how was your journey? Like, what are some of the struggles that you can share, but also some of the wins that you were able to, overcome with those struggles that you've come across?
I think, I don't have like my struggles in business aren't like the normal struggles. I think my struggles in business started with like my confidence in myself. Like I was holding myself back as far as, I knew I was good at something, but I didn't know what that something was. So I ran from my gifts. So I don't have like, I had these financial struggles, or I had bad business deal struggles, or I had, a successful business that fails. Like I don't have those type of struggles. Knock on wood, my struggle was me. I was my worst critic. I was my biggest enemy when it came to my business because I would play small because of the people around me, or I would hold off on certain ideas because I didn't want to overwhelm my audience, because I didn't want them to feel like they were overly supporting me and they would get tired of me. And it wasn't until, that's why I'm so big on like having mentors and just surrounding yourself around people who have more than you or who are smarter than you, because they change your perspective and your mindset. So I had a meeting with my mentor, Sierra Range. She's actually the publisher of my new book, I Am the Prize, and she's a FAMU alumna. When I went to her and told her like what my struggles were in business and what I felt like held me back from reaching the next level, the game changed. I said, I don't want to overwhelm my audience. I feel like I'm always asking them for support, and they're going to feel like I'm money hungry. They're going to feel like I'm greedy. They're going to feel like every time you turn around, somebody's sharing a post from me, and I don't want to confuse them about what it is that I do with the snow cone truck, the event I have, the book I wrote, the podcast. She said, look at every single thing that you have to offer, all the value that you're offering the world. Look at that. And if you keep the mindset of you're doing too much, that's a poor mindset to have. Like, that's a poor mindset to have, to feel like you're doing too much, when really is you're diversifying how you serve. You're diversifying the way that you serve your audience, because everybody not going to read your book. Some people going to listen to the podcast. Everybody not going to be able to listen to the podcast. They're going to come to the event. Everybody not going to come to the event because they're probably too young, so they want to support the sweetest sister. She was like, that mindset that you have is a lack mindset. That's a poor mindset. And that's never going to get you your next dollar. Because if you look at like big celebrities like Oprah and Jay-Z, I love using the Jay-Z reference. He does a lot under so many different umbrellas. The NFL, the brand, the liquor brand, the music brand, just everything that he's a part of. They're not the same. They're not under the same umbrella, but he's serving multiple audiences. And he's winning, like he's thriving. He's not worried about, because somebody don't support this, I can't get 1,000 more people to support that. Once she told me that, the game changed. Now I'm pulling the trigger on every idea I have, and it just is what it is, and the world gonna have to adjust and follow suit.
Exactly. You know what? I love that advice, and you hit it right on the head with having a mentor is so important, and just surrounding yourself with people that are not necessarily on the same level or like-minded as you, even though at some point you all do become very much like-minded, but it's like you were already on the level that I'm trying to get to with your mindset. And so that is so important, and really just goes back to the networking aspect, because she now instilled that in you, and you've been able to thrive in different areas. And it's funny that you just even mentioned about like being afraid to like tackle all of these different things, being that they weren't necessarily connected, because that's also something that I struggle with too. And just like thinking like, okay, everything I do has to connect in some way. Like, why do I need to start this business and it has nothing to do with what I'm already doing? But again, like that, like she said, that is such a poor mindset to have. And when you think about investors who really are like the millionaires of the world, really, because they going with what's going to pop. It don't matter what it is. They're going to have 10 different things that they're investing in because they see the potential in those businesses. But I mean, like, just being a serial entrepreneur, you're going to have your hands in different things that may not necessarily align with each other, but maybe the purpose behind you doing them does, you know? Right. And so I'm so glad to even just have you share that, because I'm pretty sure there's other women out there that are just thinking, I don't want to press the button on this because I'm already doing X, Y, and Z, and it doesn't really go. But we have different, you know, purposes to serve. And so that's really, I'm glad that you were able to take that and really run with it, because you are being impactful in different areas, you know? So that's amazing. Is that how, or is that when you started your manifestation events, or were you already doing that?
So I already had the events, manifesting over mimosas. The first event was in 2019.
Okay.
So this will be our third year this year.
Okay. Year 3. Yeah. So what was the, I guess, what made you want to even start that event? Because I think that's a great event that just brings a lot of people together.
Thank you. So for me, I've always I've always hated like walking into rooms feeling like I don't belong, or I hated like the mean girl vibes when I went to certain events or functions. So I wanted to create a safe space for entrepreneurs who probably feel like, oh, I'm not on this level yet, but I want to be in a room with these people who kind of make me feel welcome and let me know like it's okay to not have it all together, long as I'm putting in work to at least get where I want to be at. So for me, Manifest No Mimosas, it's like near and dear to my heart because I'm so big on networking. Like I'm so big on partnerships and collaborations. I do it every day in my life. So why not put together a huge event in the community for Black and brown women to come together and be able to like meet face to face and secure partnerships, secure future clients, secure future investors, and they have fun doing it. It's like celebrating themselves, the success they had in the year, be inspired by people in the room, and like give them access to the people who I work with or who inspire me on a daily basis so they can adapt this same mindset and work ethic.
Right.
Yes. Right.
You know what? That's funny that you even say like walking into a room and feeling like you don't belong, because I remember before I started going to like networking events with a previous job that I had, like I used to be afraid to walk into these rooms because I'm like, okay, these people on another level and I'm not quite there yet.
Right.
But I know where I want to be, but it was just like trying to even put the words together to like even talk to people. Cause okay, you're there, you in the room now, but are you prepared to even have a conversation with folks, and tell them who you are and where you're trying to be? And it was just like, that was so scary to me. Like,
right.
So
it can be intimidating.
For sure. And so do you ever have ladies come to you like during the events and just saying like, this has helped me overcome that fear? Like, thank you for having this.
Yes, I get messages every day. Like the event was in December 18th last year. And I get messages every day, even still from 2019, the very first year. I still receive messages of like women who started business. Like hundreds of women have started businesses just from attending the event and being inspired or connecting with someone who could have helped them propel in their careers or all their endeavors. I get messages all the time of people saying like, you helped me get out of my comfort zone, or I just love your energy, or I've like, met some really cool people just being there. Like it's so many good things that come from the event. So literally I'm on a high year round because I'm always reminded that this event is something that people look forward to.
Right. No, absolutely. I'm like in Georgia and I'm over here like, you know what? I need to see if I can get a ticket for the next one and come down, because I just love the fact that it's Black women, seeing like your videos of past events, like a room full of Black women that are looking to connect with others and just being open, because you do actually have people that they act kind of funny, like they don't want to help other people. And it's just like, okay, why do you have to do that? Because at some point you were in your beginning stages and somebody helped you, right? So it's like collaborating and networking, like that's how people build, like that's how people win. So I love when I can see other women doing that for each other, because Black women especially too, because it's not that common in my eyes, I feel anyways, just from experiences that I've seen. Like I love to see that. And maybe it's because I'm in a big city like Atlanta, like, but I just see people sometimes and it's like they feel like they're too good.
Yeah. So I get the point you just made, and we have all had our experience where we have dealt with mean girls. But for me, it's one of those things of you don't have to offer me a seat at the table. I'll create my own table. I'll bring up my own seats. So my team that I have, like the women who I work with, all Black women, all successful in their own respective fields. We respect each other. I respect their mind. They respect my mind. And I created those environments. You get what I'm saying? So I don't have to sit around a group of women who I don't want to be around, or who treat me like I don't belong, because I created a whole nother space, a whole nother table for women who are like me to thrive.
Right.
Like who not waiting for approval or validation. So it's like you probably have to like go insert yourself in different rooms or create their own space. Because I hate for women to feel that way, like they, oh, I'm intimidated, I don't belong here, because I just hate it. But I'm not.
Yeah. Girl, no. When I see that happening, because I have a really good friend of mine and we talk about it, like she's beginning now to like sit on different panels to speak. And we, talk about her experience doing that and just hearing some of these stories. And I'm just like, girl, you don't need that. Like you said, create your own space. Like everybody is not going to be for you. But at the same time, like, that once you experience that, and then you're able to just say, okay, this is clearly not the crowd that I need to be a part of or that I want to be a part of.
Right.
Like for me, I'm just not getting out there. Even with doing the podcast, like I shied away from doing that because I'm just like, oh my gosh, I got to speak like in front of people. People going to be listening to me. But now I've received so much feedback, positive feedback, where it's just like, you know what, I'm glad I stepped out on that faith and really just believed in myself. And I think that if we continue to instill that in other women and the things that they want to do, like it'll be so many more success stories for women. Like, even though women are definitely doing the damn thing right now. Like every time I look, I'm looking at a new article and just seeing all these great things that they're doing in the rooms that we're stepping in and dominating, especially male dominated areas.
Right.
I love to see it.
Right.
So tell us more about what you have in store as a serial entrepreneur. Like, is there anything that you feel like you're getting ready to step into? Like, it's okay if you don't want to share, but if it is.
Oh no, I'm listening. I am not afraid to put all what I'm working on like out there in the atmosphere because it's mine. Like I work for it. So I don't mind. So with the book, I Am the Prize. I'm planning with my team some HBCU book tours. Definitely want to get on a lot of different campuses to promote the book and host and facilitate workshops to teach young women about entrepreneurship and about like having the confidence to step into the role as a CEO. So I'll be using my book to do that. Started the I Am the Prize Incorporated nonprofit, and that is the mission for that is to basically help fund HBCU CEOs, help them start their businesses, have access to coaches, mentorships, and different opportunities so they can grow as entrepreneurs. Because that's when I started my first business in college. So I'm super, super, super excited about that because I was broke when I started my first business, but I believed in myself. So I just, with the nonprofit, I kind of just want to instill like, confidence in these entrepreneurs, and then also make sure they have the money to get started to help them, build out their dreams. Because if it wasn't for my first business in college, like that business really set me up. That's why when we first started talking and you said you went to BCU, and that's how you kind of knew about me from being at FAM. I'm like, well, did we cross paths when I was going on campus doing my launches and doing different fashion shows and networking with different people on BCU campus? Because that's what I did with that first business. So I just want to like expose college students to those type of opportunities. And I'm super excited about that initiative that I'm working on, because it's just always been my dream to like give back and like go on the field during homecoming and cut like a $50,000 check or $1 million check.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm working towards. What else do I have going on? Like I said, my event, December 18th in Jacksonville, Florida. And you should travel because people travel from all over. I think the person that traveled the furthest last year was, she went to UF, and she just came back early from Africa because she had already bought a ticket to Manifest Mimosa. So that was really cool, seeing how far people travel. What else I'm working on?
Do you think that since you did go to HBCU and you've mentioned the initiatives that you have in giving back, do you feel like going to HBCU helped you in just overall building the woman and the confidence that you exude today? Because I know I do. So
absolutely. I feel like my HBCU shaped me into being the woman that I am today. That's when I learned about the importance of networking. I learned the value and mentorship, and I became so invested in collaborations. And now, because I see how far it can take me. But every opportunity that I have, like through my businesses or in my adult life, comes from networking and just opportunities that I've had or I have received, through networking.
Right. No, I definitely feel that to 100%. Like, because before I went to college, I was just like, okay, I'm more of like the background type of person. Like, I'll do the work in the back end. Y'all don't have to see me in the front. But now just looking at different experiences and people that I've met, I'm just like, you know what? No, I'm going to insert myself in the front and, see where life takes me. And it's just like every day that I walk into my purpose and just having different conversations with other moms and other women like yourself, it just gives me like the further validation, like, okay, you're doing the right thing, and just wanting to expand my reach and connect with other people and sit on different panels and start speaking, because you definitely, like you say, you learn from experience, and being able to share those experiences with other people that maybe have gone through the same things that you've gone through or can just relate. Like, I don't know, it's just a whole sense of like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, so. No.
Yeah. So I think for you, because I'm excited that you're putting yourself on the forefront more and you're doing more speaking to people, connecting. And I think like the more that you are intentional with your platform, and this is for anybody listening, I'm just speaking to you because, we don't hear, but like right. The more you're intentional with your platform and so with my podcast, I kind of follow my life's journey. So if I know this is something I struggle with, or this is something I want to learn more about, or these are women that I want to connect with, those are the type of interviews that I have, because I learn so much. We're sharing each other's audiences. And I know like, if this is something that I'm going through, it's easier to talk about than it is to like make up episodes or titles and stuff. When I feel like, okay, I'm going through this, they're going to help me get through it, and they're going to help 100,000 more women get through it that's going to listen to this episode, because it aligns with my life's path. And that's what I love about what you're doing, because you want to be on the forefront more. You want to come out of your comfort zone. You want to lead that job and like thrive in your own space that you created. What you're doing is amazing. Like, and you're like setting yourself up for that.
I appreciate that, because it's scary when you walk into things that you've never done before and just really trying to find your way. Like, I'm sure when you started even doing your events, like from your first one to your third one now, like I'm sure things have just changed and shifted for you. So what's one of the biggest things that you feel you've learned just within the 3 years that you've been doing your event?
So the first year, planning, you know how they say proper planning. What is it? Proper planning equals, I don't know, something like that. But either way it goes. The first time I did my event, I always tell this story. I did my event in 30 days from when I just said, bump it, I'm about to do it, until the day of. I had 30 days to like pull it off. By the grace of God and my networking skills, I filled the room up with over 150 people.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it was like so many things went wrong. Like nobody noticed what went wrong on their end, but it was like, for me, I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't know what I was doing, but hey, it worked and it made a huge impact on people. So with that, I would like always encourage people to just go after the goal. Like it does not have to be perfect, because some people might not even recognize the imperfections, which nobody recognized what was wrong. It was basically just my team cussing me out that year. Then the second year, I started planning like very early. Like I had just a lot of stuff in the chamber, as far as like from the marketing to just keeping the event relevant throughout the year, always talking about it. And then I sold out in a week. So that was really cool. And now this year I started planning in February. And last year we had almost 400 people in the room, and it went from 150 to 400. So now my goal is to have 1,000 attendees this year. That's why I'm starting like super, super early. So really like my biggest thing is just planning, like just staying on top of it, because a lot of things have changed. The dynamic of the event has changed. The audience of the event has changed. And now like the caliber event that it is changing this year. And I'm just super excited.
Yeah, no, you should be. And I like how you walk through the timeline of different things that, from year to year so far have changed for you. And I know the saying that you're talking about, I can't think of it either, but I've heard it as well. Right. And I 100% agree. Like when I had my virtual event, like I definitely feel like I should have started earlier, but it was just like, your first time, your first rodeo, you like, okay, you think you got stuff handled, and then you turn out you really don't. But it's all a learning process, and you would never be where you are today without starting somewhere. So I'm glad to see that the numbers have increased year to year. Like, that's amazing, because that clearly shows like people are talking, right? And you're making an impact in people's lives. So whereas more people coming back, and maybe they bring in a friend because they came last year or the year before. So, but it's definitely like, I'm glad that you were able to share that, because like you said, people are listening and they might be scared to jump out because they're like, okay, I don't have enough time to do this. But you got to start somewhere, and then
in 30 days. Oh, that was something. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you good.
I was thinking, let me tell y'all, if y'all have an idea and it's something that you're super passionate about, just do it. Like I said, experience is the best teacher. The event title is Manifesting Over Mimosas. The day of the event, I had one of my best friends, LT, and one of my coworkers, Ratisha. They had to go to the store to go get 100 mimosa glasses because I didn't order any mimosa glasses. I forgot. Literally, did not have. I'm like, I got everything in this room except for champagne glasses. So
it's like that sometimes. It's like you're so focused on the big things, right? The small things get left behind. And like, even from planning my baby shower, girl, like I am like planning, I'm just like, it's a love-hate relationship, because you really have to do everything right down to the T. And like those little minute things, I'm always like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm so focused on the big stuff.
Right.
I'm like, I had my little planning crew for my baby shower, and they like, they're planners, like, to see. So they just like, no, you need this. I'm talking about, girl, all the way down to the microphone for the host. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, for real. But when you think about these events like that, like, all those things are just so important. And it is good that you have a team. Like, I'm glad you're even talking about having a team, because a lot of times we have the tendency maybe to try to do everything by yourself. And in actuality, like, you can't.
Right.
Like, you got to delegate some things, because it's just, you got this running list in your mind that's just constantly moving, and you might miss something, and you're human, not a robot.
Right.
Like, so, but that's funny that you even say that, because honey, I like, girl, even from my event, I'm sitting here on the day of the event, I can't even figure out how to work PowerPoint. And I do events all the time at work. And I'm just like, I know PowerPoint, but you would think on that call that I ain't never worked PowerPoint a day in my life. Like, and just sharing it. So, look, all the nerves and the jitters just take upon you the day of. You just like all over the place.
Right.
But I am super excited just to hear about, the upcoming one. And I'm definitely going to try to get me a ticket and try to work that into. I know I got some things happening in December, but hopefully things align to where I can come. But if not, I'm definitely going to continue to follow your journey, and maybe I can make the next one, or just another event that you have. Okay, virtual. Okay, yes. For the plug. All right. Yeah, that's definitely, I'm doing that for another friend now, because I can't physically be there. But with all the things that you have going on, I definitely want to give you the floor to share how people can find you and support any and everything that you have going on.
Okay. So since we talked so much about the event, y'all make sure y'all follow at Manifesting Over Mimosas on Instagram and on Facebook. My personal page is at Fancy Cash, and my I guess like my business page with like my business coaching, the book, like the nonprofit, that's at TiaVSFancyCash. That's TiaVSFancyCash.
I appreciate it. And I'll definitely put it in the show notes as well, so that people can just click on those links. So before we jump, I just want to say, is there anything else that you would want to leave with the audience as far as being an entrepreneur and the importance of just networking and really just putting yourself out there and having that confidence?
So if I can leave the audience with any nugget today, I would say, if you can dream it, do it. Like, that's where 100% of my success comes from. Just using my imagination, using my brain, collaborating with other people, asking, for advice, their opinions, getting their guidance, and just executing. I am huge on execution. I'm never going to just like come up with an idea and sit on it. I've been stopped at a long time ago. Now it's like, if I have the idea, run with it. Like
Right.
take it and run with it, because you never know what can come from it. And if it doesn't work out, take the experiences from the failure and build on that. And like that's what I say. Like I just told my mom the other week, if I was to leave this earth today or tomorrow, God forbid, I'm going to die empty. Like there's nothing that I want to do that I haven't done, or wanted to do that I haven't done. Like I've done everything. I've accomplished every single goal that I've set out to accomplish, and my kids will be proud. And that's all that really matters to me.
I love that. And just living in your passion and just being empty, like you said, just making sure. I was just thinking about that the other day, like just the whole mindset about leaving my 9-to-5 and really stepping into this. Like definitely gonna do it with a plan,
right?
But like you said, just believing in yourself and not sitting on ideas. I think that's where we mess up, because just having that fear that it's not gonna be as successful as we think. And that's another thing. It's just like success works in different ways and it looks different for different people. So maybe just going back and saying, okay, what does success really mean to you? Like, is it just making sure you touch a life, or is it monetary, or, you know, whatever the case is, but really just evaluating what success looks like for you as a person. And I just love everything that you're doing and everything that you shared. I definitely feel like you shared some gems with us, and I'm hoping that we instill some confidence in some ladies tonight that may be sitting on some worries. Like, just leave those worries behind, and just jump off the porch with it. But you all are here. This is season 4, episode 3 with Tia Coleman on networking to net worth. So I appreciate you, Tia, for joining us tonight. And as I always leave these words with you ladies, to stay bossy and stay motivated. And I will talk to you ladies next time.
Hey ladies, if you enjoyed today's episode, do me a favor and leave a 5-star rating and review. You can find the Bawse Mom Movement streaming on Apple and Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube. Want to keep up with the movement? Visit my website at thebawsemommovement.com and subscribe. Thanks for the support, and I'll see you next time.